A very, very, very happy Monday to you, my friends. Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. So, it's been quite nice, therapeutic, really, not having West Ham to play this weekend. Obviously, we have another free West Ham weekend on the weekend coming up, albeit playing on the Monday, so we still have that looming over our heads. But actually, for once, it wasn't a bad weekend for West Ham when it came to players missing, key players missing for other sides who are going to be playing very, very shortly. But we'll talk about more of that at the Hammers headlines. And also, we'll have the Academy show as well, talking about some of the players out on loan. And the under-21s who won 7 in a row. Fantastic. But I want to talk about some players we've been linked with. Players in and players out, basically. We mentioned this morning Santiago Castro, the Bologna forward who we've been linked with. And we've been linked with several other players. And what I'm quite liking is the profile of players we're being linked with. They're young. They're also playing to a high level already. So they're not really necessarily taking a chance on them. So where they might cost a little bit more than maybe we do people who aren't performing well, it will hopefully pay dividends later on. And the latest player we've been linked with is the Anderlecht attacking midfielder Mario Stroeykens. That sounds about right. The 20-year-old Belgian star is a rising star in the Pro League. And I said, it's an area where it's a league we've been looking at. Obviously, we've been linked to a number of Club Brugge players as well. And the Pro League is somewhere where I think you're going to get very good technical players who won't cost as much as if you buy them from Serie A or La Liga or the Bundesliga. But Mario is a very skillful playmaker. He is, as the kids say, doing bits in the Pro League with Anderlecht, and scout reports say his playing style is sure to excite. That's what we love to hear. Primarily a central midfielder, he can also play 10 and left wing. So again, that versatility, which managers are seeming to pay extra for, in that they can play different formations as and when. And someone like Potter, who clearly changes formations, mid-game, having someone like Mario to his disposal would be very useful. He's been described as a creative force on the pitch, and stats reveal an impressive knack for creating chances, and his ability to unlock defenses with relative ease. Well, obviously defenders in the Pro League. So another player we've been, as it was the Athletic spoke about him in the same article as Castro as well. So again, interesting to see we're being linked with young, energetic players, because God knows we need them. Speaking about young, energetic players, or not necessarily energetic players, Guido Rodriguez. It does seem that there is somewhat going to be a bidding war for the Argentinian international in the summer, which can only mean good news for West Ham in terms of the old budget. 3 clubs now want to sign him. La Liga trio, Real Sociedad, Villarreal, and Genoa are desperate to prize the 30-year-old midfielder away from London Stadium. It's also been suggested, as we know, that his former club Real Betis are also desperate to bring him back to Spain as well, which is great news, because not only should we be able to command a relatively decent fee, where before it was going to be literally the signing on fee, we may be able to get a bit more money out of him potentially. He earns around 75k a week, which is just under £4 million a year. So if you manage to get a fee anywhere north of that figure, we'll actually be making a profit on Guido. It was claimed earlier, early in February, that Potter actually wanted to keep him at London Stadium after initial strong impressions of the Argentinian in training. However, that hasn't been the case in terms of representing his minutes on the pitch. We've played, I think, 8 games under Potter now, and during those games, Guido has just 2 starts and a total minutes of 127 in action for Potter. So the likelihood is it was keen to have a look at him, and obviously he's seen enough. Someone else who apparently he's seen enough of is Mavropanos. Could it be Dean off in the summer for a loss? He could be ditched for as little as £8 million, according to several sources. He signed from Stuttgart at the start of last season for £17 million in add-ons. He was identified and purchased by former director of football Tim Steidem, but never really got integrated into the first team, whether that be under Lopetegui or or Potter, and we're led to believe that Potter's seen enough now, and he probably featured more than he was due to, partly because of the injury to Jean Claire. I think if Jean Claire wasn't injured, he wouldn't have featured as much. Simple as. I mean, you know, he's not a bad player, but he's always been unconvincing. And then I think once, unfortunately, you get that sort of what's the word, characteristic by the fans of being someone who makes mistakes. Any slight issue, any slight, misguided pass or will be heightened. Oh, it's typical Mavropanos. It's like Ludwig McCloskey. My granddad used to call him Loopy Ludo, and actually, every time he made a mistake, like typical Ludo. But he was a decent keeper for us as well. But every time he made a mistake, and I've always been called because of Loopy Ludo, that's always been in my head when I talk about Ludo. And speaking of Ludo, we should have his appreciation night in the next week or so. So keep an eye on that for the channel. But the club are looking to offload the player, and as revealed, it could be for as little as £8 million. According to a top source reporting to Claret and Hugh, Dave said there'll be many exits in the summer, and Dino will be one of them, or looks like being one of them. Because obviously, as I always say, it takes two to transfer. It takes a club wanting to sell the player, and it takes a club wanting to buy the player. So it's whether who wants to buy Mavropanos and how much they're willing to pay for the Greek international. But that's it, my friends. Keep an eye on the channel. We've got lots coming up. Oh, let's take off Dino. There we go. We've got lots coming up. We've got Hammers headlines, loads to talk about in terms of Anthony Gordon and people like that not being available for the Newcastle game, amongst others. And then we've got the Academy show out at about 6 o'clock tonight, talking about the Academy players out on loan, as well as the games that have taken place in the last few days as well. So until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, people. It's a chilly Hornchurch, but it's sunny but cold. And I don't mind that. It's when it's sunny and wet. I can't stand that. Can't stand it because you don't know how to dress. But anyway, take care. Much love, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care. Bye.